Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are talking about what equipment you should have in your camera bag on a wedding day. Hi, I'm Jennifer and I'm a wedding photographer serving both Tennessee and Virginia. And in this video I'm talking to you about what equipment I like to use to photograph a wedding. And so I'm just going to be pulling out pieces of equipment and telling you about it and hoping that this will be helpful to you as you grow your equipment for your wedding photography business. So the first piece of equipment that I obviously have to use on a wedding day is a camera. And this camera is actually filming me right now, but I use the Canon 5D Mark IV, and you can find this camera on Amazon, you can find it on KH Camera, you could buy it used somewhere. There's many different places you can get it, obviously, or you could just buy it from Canon, that works too. But I have been using this camera for several years now, and I really love it. It's never failed me, and so I pretty much trust it a lot. And normally on a wedding day, I do have two camera bodies with me at least. If I'm the only one photographing, then I will definitely have two camera bodies with me. If Daniel's also photographing with me, he's my second shooter and my husband, then we'll have at least 3 cameras, if not 4 camera bodies. We want to make sure that we have backup equipment, so if something were to fail on a wedding day, which has never happened before, but you never know, we just want to be prepared and make sure that your memories are kept safe when we're photographing your wedding day for you. So yeah, so Canon 5D Mark IV, we normally have 2 of those with us on a wedding day. And then the next piece of equipment that we use is the Canon EF mount 50mm aperture of 1.2. Again, this lens is currently filming me, so I can't show it to you, but there are links in the description of this video of each of these pieces of equipment that I use for my business, so you can go check it out, figure out if this would be a really good piece of equipment for you in your business. I really love this lens because it's really good in low light. The aperture of 1.2 just makes it, it just sometimes saves you in situations where you aren't allowed to use flash, you can't use flash, you don't want to use flash. I just love it. I also love it because it's a great lens for light and airy photographers to use. I also made a video about this particular lens, and it's linked right there. You can go check it out and see if this lens would be a good fit for your business. Next piece of equipment that I use on a wedding day is the Canon EF mount 85mm aperture of 1.2. I love this lens because of the compression. I just love the bokeh it creates. I love the epic portraits that you can get. I normally rent this lens for wedding days, but will be getting it soon. But I really think that this lens, in a way, it kind of defines my style in a way. I think that, some lenses can't really get the look that you want, but this lens gets the look that I want. So this is the classic Jennifer style photo, the 85mm lens by Canon. And then the next piece of equipment, which I can actually show to you, is, I have it right here, getting it out, is the Canon EF mount 100mm macro lens. And this one has an aperture of 2.8. I really love this lens for ring shots on wedding days during the detail time, but it's also really great for portraits. Like, I actually love using this lens at engagement sessions to get like really beautiful portraits. Especially because I don't always have an 85mm with me at an engagement session, but I found this macro lens, this makes beautiful portraits. Then in a way, I actually almost like it better than the 85 sometimes. So I'm definitely a big fan of this lens. You can also get it on Amazon, many different places get it, but I just love it. I love the compression that this lens offers. I also want to say that if you've never tried out macro photography for ring shots, then you need to, because it instantly makes the rings look even more amazing. I've been able to blow up some rings in a printed canvas, literally almost the size of my head, which is crazy considering that a ring is literally like this small, right? And then you can blow it up, and this macro lens is just amazing. So you really should try it out. Yeah, if you want to, what you could do, you could always rent it through Lens Rentals. If you don't want to, if you don't want to purchase it right away, you just want to try it out, definitely rent it through Lens Rentals first if you want to. And then, and I do have a discount code in the link of this video for Lens Rentals, $25 off your first order, so you could try it out for pretty cheap. So I would do that. I would actually try it out before wedding day. I wouldn't rent it and experiment with it on a wedding day because it is a learning curve to using this lens. Camera settings can be a bit tricky when first learning how to shoot macro ring photography. I did make a video about macro ring photography, and it is linked right up there. You can go check that out as well. So that's that lens. The next piece of equipment that I love using on wedding days is my flash. So it is the Canon 600 EX RT2 flash speedlight, and you can get this flash on Amazon, and I don't have it with me today. This flash has been a game changer as far as just the speed of it, reception dancing, and then like, and send-offs, like for sparkler send-off. It really improves images so much. Like if you're not using flash on wedding days, you need to be, because it is going to save you so much time when it comes to editing, because it adds that extra light that you need when it's getting darker. I think it is very important. You will need, I would suggest rechargeable batteries for this Canon 600 speedlight, and I can even like include a link to batteries that I've gotten before that are rechargeable. I do suggest rechargeable over not rechargeable, because this thing will eat batteries and you'll just spend way too much money on batteries. So definitely get rechargeable batteries, and then get a charger for the batteries. I would suggest having at least 2 chargers for the batteries, so that you can always make sure you have a set of batteries that are like ready to be used on a wedding day. You never want to be in a situation where you run out of batteries. So that is what I use for flash. And then the batteries I use for actual photographing weddings. So sometimes I use, there's like this, it's an off-brand, it's called like on it says like Lion battery pack, but I'll link it below. I'll link below the batteries I use for my camera, but it kind of looks like this. And then I have some Canon batteries as well, but these off-brand ones are cheaper. I think the Canon batteries are like $50 each, which is like, man, that's like a lot for a little tiny battery. So these batteries right here, the same size obviously, but they are off-brand. I found that they work just as well. I've never really had like a severe issue with any of them. So I think that these would be great, and you can buy several of them at once off Amazon. I'll put the link down below for you. So get those batteries, and I would suggest going into a wedding day with at least 6, if not 8 batteries, especially if you're shooting with 2 cameras. Make sure you always have enough batteries. Make sure you have a battery charger. I think it's really important. I can also link below the battery charger I use, and I do choose to use a Canon battery charger just so that I just trust it and I like it. So I'll link that below. All right, and then I also use SD cards, obviously. I have to. And the one that I like is the Extreme Pro SanDisk 170 megabytes per second, 256 gigabytes. I really love this one because I can fit a lot of photos on it. I've never had a problem with these. I would always suggest to go with the best of the best, if not almost the best of the best, because this is what your photos are being stored on. This is literally memories in your hand, and it's small. So you don't want to go cheap with this. You don't want to just get the cheapest thing, because SD cards have been known to fail, and you don't want it to fail. So I would suggest having that. These are really, really good. I'll link that below. I also have CFast cards. CFast cards are quite pricey, like very pricey. And so I have the SanDisk Extreme 64 gigabyte, 120 megabytes per second. I would like to get the 256 gigabyte at some point, but again, they're very pricey. It's basically like buying an SSD, like a solid state drive. It's very pricey. So, but yeah, definitely have these so you can have 2 cards in your camera. I think that's a really, really good idea to have, especially on wedding days. So CFast cards and SD cards, that's what I use. I'll link those below. Another thing I have in my camera bag that I think it's like a backup lens is the Canon EF 50mm aperture of 1.8. Okay, so this lens is much smaller because it's not a luxury lens. You can tell if it's a luxury lens by Canon if it has a red stripe around it. This lens right here has a red stripe around it. This means it's like the L series luxury lens by Canon. This does not. I honestly think that luxury lenses are just built better and they produce way better, higher quality images. So this is kind of a backup lens. I honestly haven't used this in like this 50 aperture 1.8. I haven't used it in months because it's just like, I like my 50 aperture 1.2 luxury lens way better. But I just keep this as a backup lens just so I would have something to still take photos. Like it can still take really good photos, but I'm just picky and I just like doing the best of the best. So I keep this with me as a backup lens, and I'll put a link in the description of this video to this lens as well. Okay, so this is really silly, but also have acetaminophen or ibuprofen in your camera bag, because there's been many times where I've gotten headaches at wedding days and you need headache reliever, pain reliever. It's vital. So definitely have water and some type of pain reliever with you, especially if the bride needs it. Like that's kind of like, you wouldn't think that I'd be talking about this in this video, but definitely have some type of pain reliever in your camera bag, because I think in some instances it's going to save you drastically. Real quick, I just want to show you this is my flash battery charger. Yeah, I love this thing right here. And you can get like Energizer rechargeable batteries. I'll put links to these things in the description. And I have two right here, and there's one's missing battery, but it's okay. So that's what I use to charge my flash batteries. This is my Canon battery charger that I love to use right here, and I'll put the link to that in the description as well. Equipment wise, that's pretty much what I use on a wedding day. Obviously there's specific wedding detail accessories I use that I bring as well to help photograph detail stuff or detail photos, but that's kind of what's in my camera bag on a wedding day when I go to photograph it. So yeah, so go check out the links in the description of this video if you are interested in purchasing anything for your business. I do make a small percentage from Amazon when you do use those links below, but I just thought it was important to share what I use with you so that you can make sure you're using the best equipment when you go to photograph your first wedding. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that learning about these pieces of equipment is going to be helpful to you as you photograph your first wedding or as you continue to photograph weddings. I hope that this information really helps you to understand what you might need to have on a wedding day to make sure you can properly photograph it. If you would like to see more information about any of these pieces of equipment I've talked about today, then please leave what you'd like to hear more about in the comments so that I can add that to my list of videos to make for you. Thank you so much for watching this video today, and stay tuned for more videos coming out every week on Friday. Bye!